Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airwaves and strap in as we
defend the Constitution, because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live from the Kida studio, so welcome to the Ho-Ho Show, and as always, I am your host, Ho-Ho. So how y'all's doing? I hope you guys are doing good. I really do. So, today we're starting off with a question. As a nation, have we reached a point of no return? Now we're going to be talking about a bunch of things, going back a while. Just bringing it up, talking about it. Email scandal from Hillary, stuff that's been coming out with, Hunter and Joe Biden. We're going to be talking about FISA court. We're going to be talking about the COVID. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. But it's based off of that one simple question hello. And hello, Dave, over there in YouTube land. And yes, I am over on Spreaker as well. And I know I'm kind of cutting into some stuff that's going on with the Fringe FM. But yeah, I am definitely over there as well tonight. So yeah, welcome, by the way. But it's all in asking that question of, have we reached a point of no return? Now, for, I guess you can say, civilians, for people that aren't in, avionics, however you want to say that. I don't think I said that right. Oh, and let's see. Hello, Dave, over there in Spreaker land. You switched on me. That's awesome. He says, howdy back. But the point of no return, whenever you're dealing in avionics, it kind of means something definitely concrete, okay? In general, that point of no return is the farthest distance from the coast or from wherever it is you took off from that you can go before you reach that point to where you can no longer make it back without crashing. So as a nation, have we reached that point yet? Have we reached that point to where we can no longer go back to how it was? To a constitutional, conservative type of a nation. And hello, Howard, over there in Facebook land. Good to see you. He says, in my opinion, yes. Crashes are... No. I mean, they might look cool from a distance, but imagine being in one. Holy crap. Holy crash. So anyway, that's the question for the night. Have we reached that point yet? So, our country has a foundation. It has a way that we started. And, I'm not really going to get into that a whole heck of a lot. Well, I might bring some stuff up a little later. But let's talk about some stuff that's been going on for the past decade, Steve says, nope, my fear of heights prohibits that. I'll tell you what, I got a healthy fear of heights too. I really do. I'm not real fond of the heights, but I definitely would love to fly a plane. I really would. I've been in a few, It's been a good time, but I've not had the pleasure of, flying one. I've not had the pleasure of being in a helicopter. That would be fun. But yeah, I would do it. I'm crazy enough. I mean, hey, I'm seat belted in, it's not like I'm bungee jumping that. I don't know. I don't think I can do that one. I'd go skydiving, I'd do that one. I'd have to get pushed out of the plane, but I'd go skydiving. I would do that. Yes, I am that crazy. Cool thing is we actually have a skydiving place, at the Muni Airport. So, I mean, that would be fun. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. So, we're also going to be talking about the deep state. And this is an aspect of this that, really does, it kind of goes hand in hand with, have we crossed that point of no return yet? It's the presence of the deep state. And here's the thing, guys, you can't ignore that the deep state is real, that the deep state exists, that it is a thing that, in a matter of speaking, is a threat to our Constitution. And I put it like that because of this. As a truck driver, and, Dave, you're one as well, and Howard, you're one as well, that our lives, whether we be in the truck or not, it's still logged on a piece of paper called a logbook, whether it be digital or whether it be, a physical logbook. That's what our life is governed by. None of these laws are laws. They're regulations. They were written not by Congress, but they were written by bureaucrats that don't have to worry about getting reelected. They're not held accountable by the people. They were written. There's nothing more you can do about it. And that's it. That's what our lives are governed by. And there's a lot we got to know. That little green booklet is actually kind of thick. There's a lot of stuff in there that we got to know and we're held accountable to. But again, none of this was done by Congress. They are regulations that was written by the executive branch. Again, bureaucrats that don't have to answer to the people that their regulations are directly affecting. Howard goes, "Don't you cuss me. I'm a professional steering wheel holder." Well, this is true. And as am I. But the deep state has definitely reached that point to where, one, they have gone outside what it is that they're supposed to be doing. These different agencies, the EPA, the NSA, the FBI, the CIA, all these various things, Department of Education, they're all in there. Okay, and again, these are bureaucrats that don't have to answer to the people. And here's the thing that makes it so dangerous. One, the regulations that they write, they bear the weight of law as if they are, even though they're not. Now, in my opinion, one of the things that I think should be happening on this isn't that these should just be written and just, there you go. These are regulations and rules that should have a shelf life. That they're only good for like 2 years to give Congress time to take a look at it. And if they want to make it a law, then it could become a law. Then it could be voted in by people, who were given the authority by the Constitution to write laws instead of being passed down to the executive branch that doesn't have that authority. There you go. Then it would become a law. And if they didn't want to vote it in, then it has a sunset clause in there. It's only good for a couple years, maybe 3, whatever. But it's got a sunset clause. Not something that, the executive branch could just one up, just however many times they want to until it doesn't matter anymore whether Congress votes on it or not, but an actual sunset clause. That would be a fix. That would be something that I could stand behind. And there's, a lot of other instances and a lot of other rules that kind of play exactly the same way. Bureaucrats writing regulations that are not laws, but they carry the weight of laws. And the deep state has reached a point to where it is self-reliant and it can protect itself. Look at President Trump. 4 years in office. And they did everything they possibly could to kick him out of office. And it actually kind of surprises me that, they didn't, okay, I don't want to say they didn't fabricate evidence, but nothing stuck. Okay. And I'm surprised that, in a matter of speaking, that they didn't just plant it there and, there you go. But they lied about things. They lied about what was going on with the FISA court, okay, with that investigation. They lied about all kinds of stuff. And here's an infuriating part, and say what you will, but it is what it is. Hillary Clinton, with the email scandal, broke the law. She definitely did. With her mishandling of classified information, she broke the law. She should go to prison. Has anybody gone to prison? No. Benghazi. Has anybody gone to prison? Has anything happened? No. With the FISA, did anything happen? Yes, they made some mistakes. Yes, people were called out on their Bravo Sierra, but did anybody go to prison? No. They lied about it. It was made perfectly clear that they lied about it, but nobody has gone to prison yet. Nothing has happened. We haven't seen, as the American people, we haven't seen justice. Why? Because the deep state protects itself. There's nothing we can do. People talk about privilege all the time, but the only privilege I see comes out of Washington. That's it. Heck, even with the people in Texas, that decided they were going to whine and cry, hop on a plane going up to D.C. Did anything happen to them? No. They clearly violated and could go to jail because of this. They were in session. They had a job to do. They were supposed to be there doing that job. Did they? No. They abandoned their post. They abandoned their job. And then they flew up to D.C. and whined and cried and said, woe was me. When they got back, if they've even gotten back, has anything happened? No. And nothing's going to happen. I mean, I would be so shocked if anything actually happened on that. I don't think it will. Nothing. Nothing at all. You've got Hunter Biden with his laptop. Have they investigated that? No. Oh, they've uncovered all kinds of information up to and including the fact that they know that Joe Biden was fully aware, even though he testified against the fact, he was fully aware of his son's business dealings. He met with different people. He used the office and met them. He flew, some of these people on Air Force Two. It's in there. It's come out. They're not even overly trying to hide the fact. I mean, granted, before the election, they didn't want this stuff to come out because they wanted to keep people distracted. Now it's an aspect of, just as Hillary Clinton put it, why does it matter? At this point, what does it matter? There's still something you can do about it. You can still hold these people accountable, but nothing's going to happen. And considering, for the most part, the American people have an attention span of like 2 seconds, I highly doubt that anything's going to happen at all. Because they'll just distract you with one more thing. They're going to distract you with a sale at the shoe store. The next season of whatever, and input your favorite show that you watch is going to be starting next week. The Witcher starts in December. They're going to distract you with something else. We know things are wrong. And I hate it whenever people try to put in there that, we're the silent majority. As conservatives, as Republicans, that there's a lot more of us than there is of them. We're the silent majority. Hear me roar. I haven't. What has being the silent majority gotten us as Republicans, as conservatives, name your brand in there? Where has it gotten us? The answer to that is nowhere. So what if we're the silent majority? We keep our mouths shut. In the meantime, you've got the very loud minority that has put all the people in place that they need to do basically whatever the heck they want to without any repercussions. The fix is in. There's been a lot of different investigation going on this as well, that Biden stole the election. That they're actually saying now that there's a very good possibility that Biden only got about 30 to 40 million votes. That's it. And what's going to happen there? Are they actually going to get away with passing some of the stuff that they're looking to pass, or is it just going to go by the wayside? Okay, you've got what state like Georgia that has been doing some, Georgia that has been trying to pass some laws in order to actually make the election cycle more secure. But yet, you got H.R. 1 going in that is totally going to it's going to take the election out of the hands of the state, and it's going to make it federal. Not only that, it's going to make it to where anybody can do whatever they want to as far as a voter goes. You want to vote in a different precinct? Go vote in a different precinct. You want to vote in multiple precincts? Go vote in multiple precincts. You want to vote without even having any identification, without even being a United States citizen, then go ahead and do that. And there's nothing that anybody can do to question the validity of your vote. And if you do question it, you're the one that gets put in jail, have to pay a fine because it's illegal to question. You can do whatever you want to. And that's some of the stuff that's in H.R. 1. Sorry, I had to take a drink. But this is some of the stuff that they're talking about doing. Clear violation of the Constitution. Does anybody care? No. Have we reached that point of no return? We're going to talk a little bit on the COVIDs about this. But first, we're going to take a quick break. Just a couple minutes, guys, and we'll continue this conversation.
You are correct. You are correct.
Have you ever been so full of it your eyes are brown? Have you ever sat on the toilet but nothing comes out? Is a box of frosted shredded wheat just not doing the trick? Well, have I got the ultimate solution for you? Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. See, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse is that particular product that will break through the sphincter like the Kool-Aid Man through a brick wall. Oh yeah! No more irregularity, no more cramping, just good old nice flow. That's right, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. Please use responsibly and use at home. This is a fast-acting product now available in Tropical Punch. And we are back. And yeah, you know what, guys? I think I've taken some Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse because I tell you what, this past week, due to medication, I almost had some issues. We almost had another loose deuce story. Let me tell you what, there was, I mean, dude, it was raining. Let's just put it that way. It was bad. I had a few close calls this week. It was, it kind of, it was bad. It was bad. Dave put in here, he goes, I hope we haven't passed the point of no return. As always, I'm holding out for hope. Trump 2024 or DeSantis 2024, I'll be happy with either one. And you know, yeah, I would be too. He would make a good one. He really would. You know, he really would. So let's go ahead and dive back into this a little bit. So guys, before we left, I was sliding into, you know, the COVIDs. Talking about in that realm. Now, I'm not talking specifics. I'm just talking what has happened due to it. Now, you see, I understand a lot of people's views, okay? Because it's an aspect of, because of all the distractions that we have in our life, you know, the daily grind of work, kids, wife, everything, I get it, you know. There's only so much paying attention that we can do before it's just like, you know, there's no more room for anything else, and I get that. He says, that's a different type of point of no return. I've been there and done that. You got that right, Dave. Yes, different type of point of no return. But I get it. You know, I mean, if it doesn't necessarily affect your life in a meaningful way, you know, in something that actually is impactful, that you really see, then I get it. You know, the why does it matter to me in my life? But the thing with the COVIDs, the shutdown, destroying of economies, I mean, this has pretty much thrown the power of government that they're not really supposed to have in the forefront of the American consciousness. It's put it in the forefront. It's made it to where you can't hide from it anymore. I mean, honestly, in some way, shape, or form, even me being a necessary job, you know, that whatever that terminology they said was, you know, I'm necessary. I'm whatever, you know. I don't know. There's terminology in there. I don't remember what it is, but you know, even though my life, my day-to-day didn't really change, there was still aspects of it that I don't know anybody that was able to just get away from it and it didn't affect them at all. In some way, shape, or form, the lockdowns, the impact of the economy, it's had its effect on people. Especially considering how ridiculous their rules were. You know, you can do this, but you can't do that. What's the difference? There isn't one. We just make something up. And that's what happened time and time again. You know, you can be in a car going down the road. Essential. Yes, that's it, Dave. Thank you. He said essential. I am essential. But like you can be in a car with your family of 4, but you couldn't go out on Lake Michigan in your boat, even though you're more social distance out on the lake than what you are in your car in traffic, but you couldn't do that. You know, you can protest, but you can't even go to church in your car. You know, I mean, the rules were absolutely ridiculous. They didn't make any sense. Wear masks, don't wear masks, do this, don't do that. Can't you read the signs? Had to throw a song lyric in there. But you guys get the point. You know, it's been ridiculous. It really has been. And even now over in California, they're talking about bringing back because of the Delta variant, which, you know, whatever. And Dr. Fauci, you know, there was an exchange that happened between Dr. Fauci and Rand Paul. And I'm sure that you guys have at least heard about this interaction, okay? It's kind of been everywhere. There's a lot of people that have been, you know, using the clip from it and whatnot. I'm not going to do that. I don't really see the point, but let's talk about it, all right? Now, the premise of this, they were talking about gain-of-function research. Rand Paul was, because, you know, here's the deal, all right? There was a pause that was put on gain-of-function research. Yeah, Dave put in there, goes, you can riot and burn down cities, but not attend a church. Yeah, you know, they want to call what happened on, you know, January 6th a big old insurrection, but they want to ignore what had been going on in Portland, Seattle, where you actually had, you know, yeah, want to ignore all that. Yeah. But talking about gain-of-function research, okay? Now, here's the thing, guys, all right? I'm going to bring up two analogies in here, and both of them are relevant, okay? I'm sure you guys have heard this one. A rose by any other name still smells as sweet. Basically saying that it doesn't matter what you call it. A rose is a rose. You can call it whatever you want to. A rose is a rose. It's defined not by what you want to call it. It's defined by what it is. And if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it flies like a duck, then it's a duck. Basically meaning that it is what it is. And again, it doesn't matter what you want to call it because it is what it is. So you've got the gain-of-function research, which in short means that you have a virus, which in this case, this is what they're talking about, and you manipulate it to where it gains the function of, instead of just affecting animals, now it's going to affect animals and people. That's what's called gain of function. It's very, very simple. Gain of function, a virus that they gain a function. It gets a power. It gets a one-up. You know, now you're Mario. Instead of being big, you can spit fireballs too. That's a gain of function. Gain the function of being able to spit fireballs. Yes, I threw a Mario Brothers, you know, reference into it, but you guys get the point. So he says that that's what gain of function research is. There was a pause on gain of function research, but you donated money to this organization, which it was used directly, and we have the receipts to prove it, gain of function research in the Wuhan lab. Wuhan, whatever, in the lab. It's like, this is what the money, this is where you sent your money. This is where this money was sent to and used for. It was specific. You have the research that you provided, or the receipts provided that proves it. So that's you paying for gain of function research. And then Dr. Fauci was like, you're an idiot. You're wrong. It's like, dude, holy crap. Why is Dr. Fauci, being a grown man, a scientist, supposed to be the smartest guy in the room, why is he resorting to acting like a 2-year-old? He couldn't debate the issue. He didn't say, well, look, here's what was actually going on. You know, instead he goes, you're an idiot. You don't know what the heck you're talking about. He didn't actually argue the point, and he didn't actually debate his point of view, his stance. He didn't do any of that. Instead, he resorted right to the name calling. Now look, guys, I'm a logical type of a person. You know, I like math. I don't really care so much about English. You know, I mean, good grief. Going through high school, I was still taking English as a foreign language as a senior. I don't do so good in English. I'm actually not that bad with grammar, but holy crap, you know, it's all situational. It's all circumstantial. It's all based off of what you feel. We're talking objective versus subjective reality. Math is pretty simple. It's subjective, not subjective. It's objective. Objective. I got it right. 2 + 2 = 4. It doesn't care how you feel about it. It doesn't care if you think it's 5. No, you're wrong. Deal with it. 2 + 2 is 4. I don't care how scientific your calculator is. 2 + 2 = 4. Yesterday, 2 + 2 = 4. Tomorrow, 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 = 4. It's objective reality. But if you ask somebody, is it hot? Is it cold? Is it cool? Is it warm? Well, now we're talking subjective. Subjective reality is a little bit different. It's all based off of, well, let's see. Today, right now, it's 88. Is that warm? Is that cold? I don't know. Well, yesterday it was 100. 88 is kind of cool. It's not that bad. Now, if yesterday was 50 and today it's 88, well, it's stinking hot. Holy crap. That's the difference between subjective versus objective reality. Science is supposed to deal, let me try to word that a little properly. Science is supposed to deal more in objective versus subjective realities. That's why they have these clearly defined definitions on what something is. So again, it was the practice, not the definition, that said this is gain-of-function research. That's what they did. So why was that important? Again, you've got Dr. Fauci, who had testified in front of Congress that testified in front of Congress that no, we did not do any gain-of-function research. Once they put the pause on it, that's it. We didn't do that anymore. And then you have the receipts saying, well, you did. Shows right here in your book, you did gain-of-function research. You funded it. You lied. And you broke this rule. He says, no, didn't happen like that. Is anything going to happen to Dr. Fauci? Probably not. Again, I would be totally surprised if it did. I really would be. So you got the FISA courts. You've got Dr. Fauci lying his butt off. His stance on things, it changes with the breeze. A leaf on a summer breeze. That's how Dr. Fauci has been operating. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. I lied to you before. We're supposed to believe you now? But their actions as of late, as of the past year and a half, has really been putting the authority of the federal government and also the willingness of sheep to just follow and do whatever they tell them to do. It's kind of ridiculous. Whenever you see somebody driving down the road in a vehicle with their windows up, wearing a mask when they're by themselves, what are you doing? Why are you really that stupid? Whenever you tell people that are in track, you have to wear a mask whenever you're running down a country path by yourself, but you have to wear a mask. It's like, how can you breathe properly? How are you going to get the necessary amount of oxygen in your lungs wearing a mask, rebreathing the carbon dioxide that you just got done exhaling, and you're going to tell me this is healthy for people? People, use your own stinking minds. The ridiculousness of the whole thing has just been a huge stamp, a spotlight that has been shown on government. The power that they have, the willingness of people to just follow them blindly without even thinking about it. But again, the COVIDs has had an effect, as in they have brought all this to the forefront. You can't really ignore it. It's really hard to be an ostrich with your head in the sand when the water is rising above your head, which doesn't really take much whenever you got your head in the sand, but you guys know what I'm saying. We're seeing it now. It's kind of apparent. So the question is, What are we going to do about it? When the reports are done, I mean, we haven't even seen the Mueller report, the Mueller report yet. Almost said Bueller report. Bueller. We haven't even seen that report yet. I didn't even try it again. And that was what, several years ago? We still don't know what that says. We don't know. Are we going to find out? I don't know. I doubt it. The deep state is self-sufficient. Dave put in there, he goes, using the mask as a chin strap is also stupid. Morons. Absolutely, I agree with you. Now, I mean, if you're somebody that's, immune deficient, do your own research, talk to your doctors, find out. Here's another thing that I've been hearing, guys, and I tell you what, I invite you, I need to make this phone call myself. I really do. Call your life insurance company, okay? Call them. Please call them. If you've already taken the vaccine, whether it be Moderna, Pfizer, or Johnson & Johnson, whatever, doesn't really matter. If you've already taken it, I wouldn't. But if you haven't taken it and are considering taking any of these vaccines, call your life insurance company. And again, I need to make this call myself because I have heard that if you were to die after taking this vaccine, shot, whatever you want to call it, they might not have to pay out the claim if you die. Why, do you ask? Because it's an experimental drug. Apparently, some life insurance companies have a clause in there that if you take an experimental drug, then they don't have to pay that out. Why? Because that's on you. So yeah, this isn't a drug that's even FDA approved yet. It's really not. Biden was even talking about that in the interview. He stumbled so horribly on this. I mean, it was bad. It was actually kind of funny, but it was bad. I mean, it was bad. I'm sure you guys have heard those clips as well. It was bad. I mean, he's stumbling all over himself, couldn't put two sentences together to save his life. Finally, he was like, you mean FDA? Yeah, I mean the FDA. I was like, holy crap, dude, it took you 2 minutes to say that? It's kind of sad. But it even came out in that little town hall that he did that, no, it's not FDA approved yet. So you are talking about an experimental drug. And hopefully we don't have that problem. But I have heard from people that, they've found out from their life insurance, their insurance company that if they take the shot, if they take the jab, then they're not going to pay out on that life insurance benefit. They're not going to pay it out because it's an experimental drug. And I hope that's not true for those that have taken it. I hope that's not true. But do your homework beforehand and find out. Find out. Please find out. That's a call I need to make come Monday. I need to make that call. I need to find out. I mean, not like I intend on, actually taking the jab myself. I mean, I know for a fact that I have been exposed, very much so. I know this. It's not even a question. It's not a question. But, so I'm not worried about it. I'm not taking the vaccine. And based off of that, I tell you what, too, that I'm sure you guys have heard that, Biden talking about, the door knockers, to try to pressure us into taking this experimental vaccine, sending people door to door. Look, here's the thing, man, all right? One, have y'all ever heard about the HIPAA laws? Not the hungry hippos. I'm talking about HIPAA laws. That is basically saying that you and only you, as being a grown-ass individual, the Asian majority, being 18 years of age or older, you and only you, unless you authorize somebody else to talk about your health care, then you and you alone can distribute your information, and that's it. They want to talk about, secure elections, but don't want to do that voter ID thing, even though in order to get the COVID shot, you had to provide ID. So they're going to take that information, and if your name ain't on that list, then they're going to send somebody knocking on your door. But it's like, dude, look, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. I mean, I really hope nobody ends up knocking on my door, but if they do, it's going to be a simple fact of what makes you think I haven't taken the vaccine? And I would like to see my name on that list y'all's have. And now I want your name, information, and what organization sent you to knock on my door, because now we have a problem. Because that is a violation of law. I don't care about the state of somebody else's health. That still does not take away my freedom. I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said that if you want to, if you are willing to give up your freedom for a false sense of security, you're going to deserve neither and lose both. It's that simple. This so-called pandemic does not take away my freedom, does not take away my right to privacy, and it doesn't bypass the HIPAA laws. So we're talking issues. We're talking problems. But again, the government, is anything actually going to happen? Probably not. I mean, I'm going to end up losing my ass if I try to put a lawsuit out there like that. Of course I am. But that's not the point. I'm still going to do it. You want to know why? Because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Got to take a drink. Hold on. I had the mic muted. That was interesting. So yeah, guys. Have we crossed that point of no return? Now, here is why this is an important question to ask. Okay? I'm sure that you've heard it said, especially if you've listened to any kind of, conservative talk radio, that you can vote yourself into socialism, but you have to shoot yourself out of it. You look at everything that they, and by they I mean the government, they give not their money to, but your money. You're the taxpayer. It's your money. It doesn't belong to government. It's your money. And they send it to countries that hate us in the form of charity. They send it everywhere. They send it to, pay for this, pay for that, pay for the other, pay for gender studies in Pakistan. They do this again for all of that. Do you really have a say in what your money gets spent on? No, not really. Oh yeah, you can elect for somebody else, but and here's the thing, you have the zero liability voter. There was a time in this nation where the only way you can vote was if you were a landowner. I can't say as if I necessarily agree with that one, but having some type of a standard, I definitely believe in. Because if you're not somebody that's paying into government, then you should not have any type of a say on where that money or how that money gets spent. So if you're not somebody that pays taxes, as in your relationship with government, whenever it comes to April 15th or however many times you have to pay them taxes, if you don't have a net loss in your taxes paid, then you should not have any type of a say on how that money gets used and where it goes. None. You shouldn't have the right to vote. Why? Because you're a zero liability voter. All you're voting for is a bigger handout. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. It is the way that it is. You shouldn't be voting for who's going to give you the most crap for free that somebody else has to pay for. You're not even paying for it. If you benefit from your relation to government, you should not be allowed to vote. Period. End of story. And that right there would actually fix quite a few problems, I'm sure. Oh, well, that's discrimination. Kind of. Not really. See, a lot of people think falsely that you have the right to vote. No, you don't. Check your Constitution. Where's mine? Where's mine? Here we go. Check it, guys. Check it. Guess what? The right to vote ain't in here. It's not in here. It's not even in the red letters, and them's the important words. It's not in there. What it does say is you can't discriminate somebody's ability to vote based off of race, color, creed, sexuality, whatever. You can't be discriminated against. Not that you have the right to vote. It's just that if there's going to be a vote happen, they can't say you can't vote because you're black. You can't vote because you're a woman. If they do that, and yes, I just said do, that's against the law already. So no, it's not discrimination in the way that would make it illegal. I mean, granted, guys, I'm not saying that, there should be hungry people out there. No, of course, my heart goes out to them, but that's what charity is for. Government is not supposed to take on the role of charity. It's kind of like health insurance. Do I think that everybody should have health insurance? Sure. Do I think I should have to pay for it? No. I think that everybody, we should, try to make an economy that flourishes in a way that provides a job to everyone who wants one at a pay high enough for them to be able to afford their basic needs, healthcare being one of them. If you don't want to work, then you don't have to work, but that also means that you don't have a benefit from government for not doing it, if you have the ability to. And there's all kinds of different things out there that will ensure the people that can't are still provided for. But again, that's not the role of government. I mean, come on, guys, during tax time, there's a spot on your tax forms that says, I know that we took a bunch of money from you, and I know that, you can get this amount of money back in your taxes, but, I would like you to reconsider and, consider giving us more money. How many people actually do that on April 15th? I don't know anybody that does. I looked at that and like, that ain't going to happen. I ain't paying more money. Are you kidding me? I don't like how my money's spent today. Why would I? No. So have we reached that point of no return? I tell you what, guys, if we haven't, we are dangerously close. I mean, holy crap, guys, we are dangerously close. And to be honest with you, I don't know if we make it out of this. I don't know. It's going to take something drastic. I have hopes. I really do. I got high hopes for 2022. I got high hopes for 2024. I really do. 2022 is going to be the thing. We've found out enough. We've had that opportunity to get rid of some of the Democrats that are in there, get rid of some of the go along to get along Republicans, the Romney Republicans, the Rhino Republicans, those that really should be booted out of the Republican Party, and just go ahead and let them run as an independent or let them run as a Democrat, because that's what they are, is Democrats. They're not Republicans. Take control of the party, hold these people accountable. There you go. If you ain't going to do it, if you're not willing to do it, then we have already lost. Who cares if you're the silent majority, if you're not willing to back it up with some action? Go to the voting booth. Call your senators, call your representatives, call them up. Tell them, I'm not going to stand for this. I don't like what you're doing. I've had it. Have we crossed that point of no return? I guess that's an answer that only you can give. Have we? Because if the answer is no, that means we have work to do. Freedom ain't free. Freedom ain't free. It's going to require some action. Whether that be in the voting booth, whether that be in standing in front of of the Capitol holding a sign, freedom ain't free. In order for us to make it back, then we have to take a stand, not as a silent majority, but we've got to be the loud ones. We've got to make our voices heard. That's what we got to do. Come 2022, we've got to get out. We've got to vote. We got to get rid of the people we don't want in there. That's what we got to do. That's all I got for today, guys. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for being part of the process, part of the show. And I hope you guys had a good one. I really do. But let me know what you guys think. Have we crossed that point? How do you feel about that? Do you think we have? Do you think we haven't? Let me know in the comments. Let me know, because I really do want to know. What's it going to take to bring us back? What's it going to take to keep us, if nothing else, from going over the edge? Those are the questions. All right, guys, have a great one. Thank y'all very much. Good night. Sleep tight. And if the bed bugs bite, well then, by golly, bite 'em back. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpikle.com. Until next time.